anything but untying. And so the universe then has no choice. First attribute of the secret place. The secret place is a place of revelation. It makes you free because it awakens you and makes you consciously aware that everything that you thought was holding you is an illusion. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to another empowerment session with the Emerge Life Enrichment Center, the Emerge movement, where we are empowering people on their journey towards spiritual wholeness, evolution, development, wholeness. We are so glad that you are here and that you've decided to join us this evening in this conscious conversation. I see there's a few of you that are online with me right now. We're going to give a little bit of space for others to come and join in with us as well. I'm asking those of you who already haven't to please begin to tag and share with as many people as you possibly can. Let's try and build a good audience so that we can have a number of people here to participate in this conscious conversation tonight. So please do me a favor and tag and share with as many people as you possibly can. Those of you watching on YouTube, as well as those of you who are watching me via Facebook Live, please make sure that you tag and share as many people as you possibly can. Also, remember to hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel and then hit the little alert button, alert bell that's right above there, so that you'll be notified anytime that we're getting ready to come onto the air. Now, if you want to take it a step further and you'd like to receive a free text notification whenever we're getting ready to come on the air, there's probably about a good 45, 50 people that have signed up so far, but there is always room for others. If you would like to join our free text notification group, then all you simply need to do is follow the information that's scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now. Text the word EMERGE to 833-444-0163. And you will automatically be signed up for free text notifications. So every time we get ready to come on live, you'll receive a notification beforehand so that you can be a part of this conscious conversation. So if you haven't already signed up for it, do that right now. Take your phone and go ahead and text the word EMERGE to the number that's scrolling there at the bottom of your screen, 833-444-0163. As you see tonight, our topic is we're continuing our series that we have been doing. And I said that it was going to be a long and comprehensive series, that we're going to cover a long, vast myriad of subjects and topics under the heading, The Nature of Being. This is part 16. And tonight we're going to draw our attention and our focus in on the law of detachment. And this one you may not have heard of, you may not have be familiar with, but that's okay. That's the whole point behind having this conscious conversation. We're going to really focus in and get into, in a comprehensive way, a discussion about the law of detachment and how it works for you, how you can employ it in your everyday life. It is a practical application that I want to give to you so that you can begin to use it to curate and create the best and highest version of yourself and a lived experience in this earth that you really desire. So many people go through life depressed and upset and broken and frustrated. Others go through angry and bitter and dealing with all other kinds of things. They wake up and go to a job that they hate. They live in a neighborhood that they don't like. They are in a situation or relationship that seems to be draining them. They're in situations and circumstances throughout their life that seem to not be conducive to their growth, their own mental and emotional health, as well as their spiritual health. But I want you to know that there are things that you can do to change and turn your life around. And so that you can begin to experience the abundant life right now while you are on this earth. You don't have to wait for some pie in the sky by and by. You don't have to wait for some chariot to swing low and come and let you ride. You don't need to wait for Batman, Superman, Aquaman, or preacher, prophet, or apostle to come and speak a word over you, lay hands on you, or douse you with oil, but that you have the power and you have the capacity within you to change the entire trajectory of your life and begin to create and formulate the kind of life that you want to live. You can break out of the humdrum and the mundane and the routine and step into a life of abundance that is fulfilling and that brings you or it enacts or activates joy within you and brings you complete contentment and happiness. You don't have to just meander through this life being comfortable or in survival mode, just trying to make it from one trial to the next trial, from one tragedy to the next tragedy, from one struggle to the next struggle, from one valley to the next valley. But you can go from glory to glory, from faith to faith, from mountaintop to mountaintop. You can feel and sense and experience a life that keeps you upwardly mobile, propelling toward destiny and purpose that fulfills you and causes you, your entire soul, as well as your mind and emotions, to be elated, excited, enthused, and filled with the satisfaction of knowing you are living and breathing and experiencing your very best life. That's what we're here for. That's what the Emerge movement is all about. I believe that your best days are right in front of you, that there is a greater you, a higher you, a truer you, a more powerful you that's still locked away inside of you, trying to emerge, trying to break forth, trying to come out of the cocoon and spread its wings and show its brilliance, its beauty, and fly like a butterfly. I believe that every one of you possess everything that you need to experience your highest, best, and most beautiful, brilliant, and buoyant life that you have ever experienced before. That within you is everything that you need to be successful, to be happy, to win, to live in a constant state of joy, to be in a perpetual state of growth and evolution, development, and to always experience the power and presence of the divine that is God, that is resident within you, through you, and as you. And it is constantly pushing upward from the depths of your innermost being, trying to come into your conscious mind and bleed out through your feelings, emotions, and intuitive knowing, so that you are filled with joy unspeakable and full of glory. That it is within you. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. That it is within you. Hallelujah. To experience greatness and joy that is beyond anything that you've ever imagined, to have a peace that passes all understanding, that keeps both your heart and mind in perfect alignment, that because you are walking in oneness with God, you realize your true self. You come into an awareness, a conscious awareness of your divine being. And that's what Emerge is all about. That's what we are. My mission, that's what the vision is, to bring you to that particular state, to make sure that you have the tools necessary to build and create the life that you want. Nobody can build it for you. Nobody can do it for you, and nobody will do it for you. Anyone who promises you that they will, they are not telling you the truth. They may have good intentions, but they will not be able to do it for you. This is a path you have to walk for yourself. It's a journey that you've got to take. It is a job that you have to employ yourself to and undertake the task of creating the life that you want. And once you get started, you'll find that it's not as difficult as you think it might be. Sure, there are challenges along the way, but every challenge is absolutely and specifically designed to help you to become and to grow and to step and reach into the dimensions of life and being that you always imagined and dreamed, and to go even beyond that. That divine presence, spirit, force within you is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above everything you ever asked or thought or imagined. That there are heights and dimensions of thought, consciousness, and being that you can't even begin to fathom at this point. But every great journey begins with the first step. You taking the necessary step to release what is loaded and coded within you and allowing your greater self, your innermost being, your divine self to emerge. And if it be lifted up, it will draw all men, all humanity, all things that are necessary for your success unto you. Amen and amen and amen. So let's prepare to get into our conversation tonight. It's going to be a good discussion. I know that you're going to gain and learn from it. Now, like always, we have a very open dialogue and conversation and discussion. It is an interactive experience. And so if you have questions or comments, please don't hesitate to write it in the comments. I am going to always keep my eyes on the comments to make sure that I include any of your questions or comments that you have along the way, so that we can have a good, healthy dialogue and exchange centered around the nature of being. And tonight, with our focus being on the law of detachment. So I'm going over to the comments right now. I'm going to take a quick look, gander. Let's see what we got going on over here. Thank you for those of you who are tagging and sharing. Thank you for tagging so many people. I appreciate it. And hopefully, if they don't jump into the live conversation, they'll catch it on the replay later on. But let's and keep inviting as many people as we can. Good evening to every single one of you. Yes, that's my intention, Brother John. It is my intention to show you how to live your best life. Thank you for that comment. That is my absolute intention. All I can do now is give you the tools. You have to be willing to take what I give you and apply it to your life and employ these practical principles, these universal laws, spiritual laws that govern the universe in all dimensions. And when you employ them, you will begin to see dramatic, drastic, consistent change take place in your life. As your mind changes, so does your life. As your conscious awareness shifts, so does your life. So, how quickly, how fast is absolutely up to you. There are times and periods, there are portals, there are gates that open that allow for accelerated growth, but that acceleration is solely dependent upon whether you take advantage of those moments, those gates, those portals, and step into them by actively, consistently applying the principles and practices that we are teaching here. And then when you do so, you put yourself in a position for accelerated growth, accelerated manifestation, for accelerated and revolutionary change and evolution, and to begin to perceive and see yourself in a completely different light. And when you see yourself more truly, more earnestly, then you'll begin to see the rest of the world more purely and earnestly as well. Remember that your inner world, your outer world rather of experience is a reflection of your inner world of thoughts and feelings. Your outer world of experiences is a reflection of your inner world of thoughts and feelings. So as we shift our mindset, as we take the necessary steps to reform, rethink, recalibrate how we think, to renew our mind, we are transformed, metamorphized, taken from one state of existence to another, because we consistently do the things necessary to transform, rather to renew our mind. That is the catalyst for transformation, radical transformation. Amen. Oh, Toya says, I still want to hear a little more about shadow work if you have time, please. Sure. Can you be a little more specific and ask me some specific questions about it? And I am more than happy to address and answer those questions. If you'll go ahead and type it in the comments right now, before I get into the law of detachment, I'll address whatever questions that you might have about it right now. So go ahead and quickly type in whatever your questions are about shadow work or about dark energy and dark matter. Those are the things, that's what we just finished discussing over the last three sessions that we've had. So please go ahead and do that. And as always, my inbox is open, so is my email. You can always email me questions, inbox me questions as well. I am more than happy to address those, even when we are not on the air. You can always shoot me an inbox or an email, and I will address whatever questions you might have. I'm trying to wait on you, Sister Toya, to go ahead and put whatever your question is in the comments before I get into this teaching tonight on the law of detachment. I'm going to give you a few more minutes, and if it doesn't pop up, then I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'll double back and try and address your question then. While I'm waiting on that, let me also say, for those of you, I wish I had printed that out and so I could post it on the screen, who have ordered your copies of Inner Sense. I finally got in contact with the publishers. It was a problem with Federal Express. They kind of screwed everything up. So I went back to the publishers and they had sent me an email to confirm today that they are going to reprint the books for me and send them out express mail so that I will get them in short order. And as soon as they get here, I will send them out the exact same day to all of you that have ordered books. I thank you for your patience. It's not something that I've been able to control. Unfortunately, Federal Express really kind of messed everything up. But thankfully, the publishers are willing to make accommodations to make sure that I'm able to get the books to you post haste. So please be just a little bit more patient, and you should receive your copies of the book very, very soon. All right. Toya puts here, how do I get to the root of those things that I have suppressed because family was not acceptable of it or accepting of it? Getting to the root seems to be very hard. It is a challenge to get to the root, and getting to the root of those things that have been suppressed, those suppressed experiences, thoughts, those traumas and doctrines that have resulted as a result of those traumas. But the way to get to the root of them is by applying those keys to the universe. Y'all remember when I did an entire teaching on the keys to the universe, and more specifically, the key of meditation, prayer, positive prayer and affirmation, absolutely, and fasting will help you to be able to get to those areas that you may have mentally and emotionally suppressed and locked away in some chamber, that will allow those places to open up through that type of mindful meditation, affirmative prayer, and fasting that allows you to access those areas so that you are able to uncover them and begin to transmute that energy. It is challenging, though. I will not lie to you and say that that's an easy thing. It is challenging because some of those things can be painful, traumatizing, disturbing. And so you have to have the tenacity and the courage to keep digging and to keep going further and to not become fearful to the point of quitting or looking away. But the promise of the divine is that if you want to know, all you have to do is ask and it'll be given. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open. That is the promise of the divine. So if you keep on asking, keep on seeking, keep on knocking, you will get to the root. You will uncover those things. And you will be able to not only discover, but then transmute that energy, harness it so that it now works for you, serves you, and you can use it to manifest what you desire in your life. That's a really good question. That's a really good question. And that's part of what life coaching is about as well. That's part of what kind of life coaching and mentorship is about. And you know that I have since began to offer life coaching, the Emergent Life coaching and mentorship program It's written in the description above there. You can click on the link there and go over and find out more about what the Emergent Life Coaching and Mentorship is about, what I specifically offer, and decide whether you want to enroll in one of the 12-month or 6-month programs. And I will be present to assist you in walking through those channels and that path of discovery. So, but that's a very good question. Very good question. All right. So, wow, man, look at the time. It goes by so fast. Okay, let's get into our teaching for tonight. So, we are talking about the nature of being, part 16. Tonight, we are focused on the law of detachment. The law of detachment. Now, I know that, again, this is not something that's familiar to most of you. You may have never heard of this, but it is a very powerful, spiritual, universal law that is at work in the universe or in the kingdom of God or in the atmosphere, however you want to view it, whatever semantical term you want to use. This is a law that is powerful, potent, and very productive when you learn to employ it, or when you understand it and then learn to employ it in your life. So let's talk about what the law of detachment is. I decided that I would make a few notes for you tonight. So here we go. The law of detachment states that in order for you to manifest your desires, you must release attachment to the outcome itself, as well as the path you might take to get there. Let me say that again, and you please write this down if you're taking notes. The law of detachment, the spiritual universal law of detachment, states that in order for you to manifest what you desire, your desires, you must release attachment to the outcome itself, as well as the path that you might take to get there. You have to release attachment to the outcome itself, as well as the path or the journey or the necessary steps that you may need to take in order to get there. Now, there are 3 aspects of this particular law that I want to look at tonight to kind of break it down into small, bite-sized pieces. And we're going to walk through all 3 of them and discuss it in detail. But I want you to get this particular law. I'm going to leave it up there for a little while longer so you can write it down. The law of detachment states that in order for you to manifest your desires, your goals, the things that you hope to achieve, the things that you want to bring into full manifestation, you must release the attachment to the outcome. Now, that might almost sound contradictory. Because it's like, well, wait a minute. What about setting your intentions and being deliberate? But please understand that you don't give up your intentions and you don't give up your desire. What you are giving up is your attachment to the results or the outcome. You're not giving up the intention. You're not giving up the goal. You're not giving up your desire. What you are giving up is your attachment that is tethered to the outcome or the results or the path or journey. And I'm going to explain what that means. Again, 3 aspects of it. You're not giving up your intention. You still need to set your intention. Be deliberate and intentional about what it is that you want to achieve, what you aspire to manifest, what you want to bring into your life, or you want to walk into. What it is that you desire. You still need to be intentional and deliberate, but you do need to divorce yourself or detach yourself from the specific outcome itself, as well as the path or journey that you'll have to take, or the steps that are necessary to achieve it. This does not also annihilate or eradicate the idea of planning or strategy. What it does do is it's saying that I am putting together a strategy, a plan, steps in order to achieve a particular goal, but they are not written in stone. They are not written in stone. I'm not tied and tethered to them. They are a guideline, but they are not a doctrine, a legalism, or a law. They are not a have to. They are the necessary strategy that I have put in place to give some shape and form to what it is that I am setting my intention to. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying? So let's go a little bit further and deeper into it. Like I said, we're going to look at three aspects. Yes, you cannot be attached to the outcome. You have to be able, right? I like that, Kamar. You have to be able to shift. That's what Kamoria says. She says you have to be able to shift. You have to be able to shift, to adjust, to adapt. And more importantly, you have to remain open. Yes, glory to God. More importantly, you have to remain open if you want to really get take advantage of the infinite possibilities that are available to you. So let's look at these three aspects real quickly. Number one, the spiritual law of detachment is about truth, about trust and surrender instead of control. Now, I know I just cussed for some of you that are watching me right now, because you are a control freak, almost OCD. You need to know exactly how everything is going to go, exactly how it's going to pan out. You have everything listed: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Everything needs to follow a certain order, because you need to have that sense of control. But the spiritual law of detachment is about trust and surrender instead, or in place of, the need for control. Let me say this to you, and this one might sting a little bit. But when you have an overwhelming need to be in control, that is a manifestation of fear. Yes, it is. I know I told you it might sting a little bit. When you have an overwhelming need, a almost desperate need to make sure you have everything aligned, that you have full control of the reins, it is a manifestation of fear. A manifestation of fear and doubt and unbelief. It is saying that I am going to trust my plans more than I trust my divine intuitive knowing. I am trusting in my plan, my organization, my structure more than I trust the divine spirit or being that I am. the I am that is infinite, the I am that is omnipresent and omnipotent, the I am that is omniscient, the I am that is omniactive. I choose then to trust my intellect, trust my conscious mind, trust what I am comfortable with more than I trust the unknown that may emerge from within me. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? It's about trust and surrender. In Jeremiah chapter 29, this is a verse that everybody seems to quote, but it is one that I want that is pointed and poignant for what it is that we're discussing. In Jeremiah 29, verse 11, it says, I know the thoughts that I think toward you, said the Lord. This is purported to be God speaking. God is saying, I know the thoughts that I think toward you. Then he goes on to describe those thoughts. Thoughts of peace. The word peace there in the Hebrew is the word shalom, which means wholeness, completeness. Thoughts of wholeness, completeness. Yes. And not evil. The evil there in the Hebrew is the word that it literally translates to chaos, confusion. So he's not talking about wickedness and wicked devices. He's talking about chaos and confusion. So thoughts of completeness, wholeness, and peace, and not thoughts of chaos and confusion or anarchy, to give you, to provide you, to bring into manifestation, into full fruition, into full view. I am going to give you an expected, predestined, predetermined end. I want to read it to you now from the Message Bible. It reads like this. This is God's word rather, on the subject. I have it all planned out. Plans to take care of you, not to abandon you, plans to give you the future that you are hoping for. Listen to what he says. This is my word on the subject. My plans are to give you the future that you hope for. Remember, faith is the substance, the power. It is the foundation, the substratum of the things that we hope for. Woo! He says, my plan is to give you what you have been hoping for. I am going to bring you to that predestined, predetermined end and outcome that is designed for your life. Ladies and gentlemen, what this means is that anything that you desire, you can acquire it through detachment, because detachment is based in the unquestioning, unflinching, unwavering belief in the power of the divine God that is reflected and active in you, through you, and as you. Let me say that again. That the law of detachment works for you because it allows you to acquire anything that you desire based upon the unquestioning, unflinching, unwavering divine presence of God in you, through you, and as you. The law of detachment is saying that you are letting go of the reins and fully trusting in the predestined, co-created plan of God for your life. Let me say that again. It says that you are letting go. You are releasing and completely trusting Woo! In the predestined, co-created plan of God for your life. Now, let me deal with each one of those words. Predestined, that is predetermined, already walked out, figured out, and laid out, spread out from the end to the beginning. Predestined, co-created, because we understand that prior to our incarnation, we were in a pre-incarnated state in God, in the ether, the isness of God, as God. That we know this from prior studies, that he chose us in himself before the foundations of the world. So in that pre-incarnate state, we then co-created with God the predestined, predetermined outcome of this and every other iteration of our life. Yes. And so the law of detachment says, as it relates to trust, as it relates to trust and surrender, says that I am completely trusting, I am exercising my faith in that predestined plan, that I don't need to see all the steps to know that they are ordered. Woo, let me say that again. That I don't need to see all the steps to know that they are ordered. That I don't need to fully comprehend and understand and see and know everything that is about to materialize or that will appear or that I will encounter, to know that the outcome has already been predetermined by me and God in my pre-incarnate state, that we in co-creation predetermined the outcome to bring me, yes, bring each one of us to our expected end, to give us the life that we hoped for. Surrendering to that. Yes, I have my plans, but I lay them out with the full understanding that they may shift and change and turn and twist, and that's okay. Because what I consciously plan now does not begin to supersede what I have co-created and planned with God in my pre-incarnate state. And I know that what I have pre-incarnated, what I have co-created in my pre-incarnate state, is a plan that is designed to serve me. Ladies and gentlemen, I trust. You and I have to trust that everything in the universe conspires together for your and my success. Let me say that again. That's a powerful statement, but you need to get that. Everything in the universe, everything in nature, everything in every dimension across the multiverse, throughout the worlds, and in every iteration of life is somehow interconnected and woven together, conspiring together for our success. All things are worked together for good. Everything is employed together for good. Everything is interconnected, woven, and tied. Everything is now meticulously laid out, and it is inextricably good for me, for you. And when you walk with that level of confidence, that level of faith, that level of trust and surrender, surrender becomes very easy, because then it's easy to surrender or submit to something that you absolutely trust. Trust the God within you. Trust the power that is resident within you. Trust the divine knowing and intuitive nature of your being. Trust in the God in you to do exceedingly abundantly above all you can consciously become aware of. Beyond anything that you have even began to imagine. Trust. Trust your intuitive self. Trust that divine intuition that is the voice of God speaking to your soul. And then simply surrender by saying yes. Yes to whatever the universe has designed for me. Yes to whatever God and I co-created before the foundations of the world. Yes to the beauty, the brilliance, the joy, the love, the peace, the abundance. We already understand from former lessons that the universe is always geared and focused on abundance, that abundance is a part of the structure of the universe. And so I simply need to say yes to the abundance. Understand that the universe, that God, the Spirit, the Holy Ghost, if you will, is always trying to give you more than what you are asking for, more than what you are consciously going after, more than what you are desiring, more than what you are seeking. God is always trying and always wanting and desirous to give you more. But you have to be open to it and surrender to it and say yes by detaching yourself from a specific outcome, from a specific journey. It has to follow this particular pattern, this particular structure, this particular path, but saying, Lord, I am open. I open myself to be myself, to live in my truth and allow the authenticity of that which is loaded and coded within my DNA to bring me to that expected end. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you tonight? Yes, let me jump to the comments real quick. Yes, the plan was put together before the foundations of the world. You and God co-creating together, laying out a predetermined plan that is far beyond what you are consciously aware of now. Remember, you are still going through an awakening, constantly awakening and evolving and vibrating higher and becoming more and more consciously aware of what you have always known, because you were the one who planned it and put it in place along with the divine God, creator of all of everything. And it has been there from the foundations of the world, unfolding and revealing itself as you matriculate through this three-dimensional experience that we call life. Yes, the universe divinely cares for me. We got a T-shirt on the Emerge website that says exactly that. I am divinely cared for by the universe. Man, you should order that T-shirt. That's a good one. Toya actually came up with that idea. That's a good design. The universal powers align with my intentions to assist me in the fulfillment of purpose. That is good. That's powerful. And that is an absolute. That the universal powers, all the laws of the universe, all the forces of the universe, yes, align themselves and conspire together with my intentions to assist me in fulfilling the purpose and in reaching the destiny of my life. That's good, man. You guys are on it. That's real good. That's good. Yes, it's all good because it's all God. All things working together for good. Are y'all hearing me? John asked, by good, do you mean successful incarnation during the particular life walk? Because there are a lot of negativity and even in evil. No, there isn't. Negativity and evil are a mental, social construct that we formulate within our own mind. What we just got through studying prior to coming into this particular section, John, is that even dark energy, dark is not evil, it's not negative, but darkness facilitates light. That it is to the other side of the same coin. They are two sides of the same experience. And that without darkness, there could be no light. And without light, there could be no darkness. Both are absolutely necessary. And because they are necessary and they produce productivity, they produce positivity, then they innately are not negative or evil. They are a necessary part of this iteration of life, of our lived experiences, so that we can fully experience the fullness of our divinity. It was not until Adam and Eve in the Genesis narrative, and we know it's allegorical, but in the allegory, it was not until they ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, not the tree of good and evil, but the tree of the awareness or the consciousness of good and evil, light and dark, the polarity of things. And that word evil there in the Hebrew translation does not mean wickedness or negativity. It means chaos or obscurity. It wasn't until they ate of that tree that then afterward, the divine one, creator, says, man has become as one of us, knowing good and evil, light and darkness. So God himself itself then expresses that in order for us to experience the fullness of our divinity, we have to incorporate both the light and the darkness, and neither are inherently wicked, evil, demonic, satanic, or any of those other kinds of nonsensical words that are used to describe darkness. They are not negative. They only become negative influences or powers in our life when we perceive them through the lens of negativity, which is usually a lens that is colored by our culture, our experience, our environment, our religion, that tells us to process this particular experience as negative rather than seeing it as something that is designed to serve me. That's a good question. I encourage you to go back and listen to the replay of, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them on my page, all in succession about dark energy. Okay? Okay. Yes, the yin and yang. You said ting, but I know you meant yin. Yin and yang effect. Yes, the polarity of the law of polarity, yin and yang, or masculine and feminine, or light and darkness, or hot and cold, or up and down. Both are absolutely necessary. Both are the two sides of the same coin. Very good. Very good. So that's aspect number one. Let me move on. Okay? Law of detachment. So the first aspect we looked at is that the spiritual law of detachment is about trust and surrender instead of control. Surrendering and yourself relinquishing control. Which brings us to principle number two. The spiritual law of detachment means that you trust in the pre-incarnate, predestined plan co-created with God, understanding that everything in the universe is conspiring together for your success. I said this already. I kind of bled over into it, but I want to dig a little bit deeper. Okay? Because when you are no longer emotionally tied to the outcome of how it must be, you open yourself to the divine possibilities of what can be. Let me say that again. When you are no longer emotionally and mentally tied to what you have said it must be, you open yourself up to the divine, infinite possibilities of what it can be. As I said earlier, remember that the universe, that the Spirit of God, God in us, through us, and as us, is always seeking to do abundantly and exceedingly more. To take us beyond what we've imagined, what we've thought, what we've strategized, and what we've planned. But if you are tied and tethered and become rigid about what the outcome must be, it must go like this, the journey must be like this, the path must be like this, the outcome must be this specific thing, then you shut down the infinite possibilities that the universe can bring into your experience. You shut it down. You limit yourself. And the thing that the soul resists more than anything else is limitation. Limitation. Okay? When you get attached to outcomes, you freeze your desires in place, you harden them in place, and you shut yourself off from the infinite fluidity and flexibility and possibility that can only be expressed by the divine that is within you. You tie yourself to a rigid framework that interferes with the whole process of manifestation. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Because you are honed in and locked in on one particular or specific outcome, one specific pattern or path. It's got to be 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 5 step. It's got to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And so if it doesn't follow that, then you get all nervous or upset or frustrated or aggravated and feel like you have to start all over, or this isn't working, or this isn't right, or maybe it's not for me, or maybe that I'm not supposed to do this, that, or the other. When in fact, all the universe is trying to get you to do is surrender. Surrender to the possibilities. Open yourself to the fluidity and the flexibility that is manifested through the Spirit of God to do infinitely, exceedingly, and abundantly more than what you imagined and what you thought. Because most often it's not the destination, but the journey that's most important. Whew, let me say that again. Most often, it is not the destination, not the accomplishment, not the goal, but the journey that you take that is most important, because it's in the journey that you expand and grow and evolve and become, and you are enriched and stretched and developed. It's in the journey that you begin to widen and broaden your horizon and perspective, and begin to vastly expand your level of expectation, because then you are able to look into the infinite possibilities that lie before you. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Okay, again, we're not talking about giving up your intention. We're not talking about giving up your desire, but we're talking about your giving up or releasing, divorcing your attachment, detaching from the specific outcome or the specific path or steps that are necessary for you to achieve or to manifest what you desire. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying? So this means, if I am trusting this pre-incarnate plan, if I am trusting this divine, predestined, preordained plan that I co-created with God, then I am going to try everything and hold fast to that which is good. Explore all the possibilities. Be open to whatever the universe decides to bring into my preview, to bring into my periphery, to bring into my experience. Be open to every experience and every situation and every encounter and all the infinite possibilities. So apply for everything. Yes, be open to every opportunity that comes. Open to network with any person that is brought into your sphere of influence. You don't meet people by accident. You don't have coincidences. You have opportunities to network and connect and grow, opportunities to experience, to explore, to expand. You don't have coincidences. You understand that the universe is working overtime to advance you. Are you hearing what I'm saying? But if you are married to a particular outcome, a particular strategy, a particular pattern, a particular result, then as the universe presents you these other opportunities that lie outside of the parameter of what you have laid out in your plan, you'll turn your head away from them. You'll say no to them and limit the possibilities of your lived experience and stepping into dimensions of greater beyond what you ever even imagined. So you apply for every opportunity. You network with the people that might be able to assist you in your goals along the way. You understand that you won't get every job that you apply for. You won't get every position that you go after. You won't get everything that you set your heart toward. But you also understand that the right thing, the thing that is most aligned with your destiny and purpose, will unfold and come to you. that what you have applied for, you have applied for all of it, but you may not get the ones that you most desire or every one that you applied to. Don't go into it with a particular specification level. I really want this one right here. When the divine, the creator, the all of everything is saying, okay, you're fixated on this, but I'm trying to give you this that you weren't even consciously aware of, that you weren't consciously even conscious that you could have, because you're fixated on this. But if you will relinquish, if you will detach from it, employ the law of detachment, that if whatever is for me will come to me. Everything is exactly as it should be. Woo! Let me say it again. Whatever is for me will come to me. Everything is exactly as it should be. There are no accidents, no coincidences, no mishaps. Nothing is happenstance, no chance, not fate. Everything is exactly as it should be. And everything that is for me comes to me. When you become fixated and attached to a particular outcome or result, when it doesn't happen, then you find yourself angry, frustrated, bitter, resentful. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And even begin to become fearful about even trying anything further. But when you employ the law of divine detachment, where you are saying, this is what I am set, and I am setting my intentions for, but I am open to the infinite possibilities that the universe has in store for me that I may not even be consciously aware of. Huh? Or there's an old way that the old folk used to sing, any way you bless me, Lord, I'll be satisfied. I know that's old school, but that is in line with the principle of the law of divine detachment. That I'm not trying to harness and constrict and constrain the spirit, the divine, the creator to one specific thing and say it's gotta be this, it's gotta happen this way, it must manifest as this. But I'm open to the possibilities because I know that everything that the universe desires to give me is good. That God has nothing but good intentions in me, through me, for me, and as me. That everything that I experience is all for good. It's all good because it's all God. And so I'm open to the possibilities. Let me go back over here to the comments, see if I any questions on this. She says, I shut down my limited possibilities because I always want to know the when or the how. I'm definitely aware of this with the willingness to change this terrible habit. Thank you for reminding me to mind my business and trust the process. That's good. Yes. Trust the process. Trust your intuitive knowing. Trust the God within you. Trust the universe around you. Trust the Spirit of God that is at work in you, through you, as you, and all throughout the universe and nature. Everything is for you. Because God is for you, nothing can be against you. Because God is for you, nothing can be against you. Everything is for you. Nothing is against you. You have no enemy except your inner me. And that inner me has to be transformed by renewing your mind. Let me see. Yes. John says, so the adage, everything happens for a reason, is applicable because it is our life script we wrote at home prior to this life walk. Absolutely. That's good. That's real good, John. Absolutely. That's right on target. Everything happens for a reason. Everything has a purpose. Everything is divinely laid out. We just have to raise our consciousness, raise our vibrational frequency so that we're able to see things through the lens of the divine, of our divine self, and not through those colored lenses that have been given to us by our culture, our environment, our traumas, our religion, our experiences, our surroundings, but to look through our divine eyes and see and know that it's designed to help me. Camoria says we should embrace life in the same manner as children. They are not consumed with details. They just enjoy the moment. That is exactly right. In one of the gospels that are written in the Bible, Jesus is purported to have said, don't even think about what you're going to eat, where you're going to sleep, or what you're going to wear. And then he draws a comparison. He says, consider the lilies of the field. They don't toil, they don't worry, they don't fret, they don't wonder, yet Solomon in all of his glory was not clothed better than any of the lilies of the field. I take care of them. So you know that I'll take care of you. I have their best interest at heart. So clearly I have yours at heart. Then he says, consider the birds of the air. They don't toil and worry and fret and fright and wonder and, go throughout their existence worried and afraid and anxious for anything. He says, here's the question. He says, don't you think you mean more to me than birds? Whoa! Goodness gracious, what a powerful, poignant statement. The question is, don't you think that you, as the divine expression of God, as the reflection, the likeness, the image of God, means more to God than birds and lilies? And he said, so if I do for them without their toiling, worrying, and being anxious, what makes you think that I'm not going to do the same in you, through you, and as you, for you? Go up and go. Okay, that's all I see there. So let me get to number 3. All right, so first one is, number 1, the spiritual law of detachment is about trust and surrender instead of control. Got to give up the controls and surrender yourself and simply say yes. Number 2, that the spiritual law of detachment means that I trust in the pre-incarnate, predestined plan co-created with God, understanding that everything in the universe is conspiring together for your success. And then finally, number 3, third aspect. The spiritual law of detachment is also not about becoming entangled with the present or the past, to wear everything like a loose fitting garment. Did you hear what I said? It's about not becoming entangled with the present or with the past, but to wear everything like a loose fitting garment. Every situation, every circumstance, yes, every relationship, every encounter, wear it like a loose fitting garment. Don't become married to, don't become so attached to, entrenched in anything, because everything has its purpose. And once its purpose is fulfilled, you have to be able to divinely let go so that you can move to the next thing. Woo! Letting go. Letting go of people, places, things, letting go of cities, jobs, yes, businesses, experience, letting go of traumas, past, as well as present, letting go, releasing, to be fully present in the eternal moment of now. To be fully present in the eternal moment of now. That means that nothing is fixed as a forever, but it is for the moment, for the time, whatever time has been designated for it to serve me and me to serve it, until we have both had the fulfilling of purpose, and then letting go and moving forward. And letting go doesn't necessarily mean that the thing was bad. Letting go of a person doesn't mean that that person was bad, doesn't mean they were terrible, doesn't mean that they were toxic, doesn't mean that they were draining or any of those other kinds of crazy things that people seem to associate with letting go. It simply means that relationship, that connection has run its course, fulfilled its purpose, and now it's time to move forward. Because each of the persons involved is walking their own path. And in some places, those paths converge. And then in other places, they separate. But they don't have to separate in anger or bitterness or angst or frustration or malice. They separate in the maturity of understanding and knowing that it served its purpose well. That each of you have served each other and gained from that encounter, that relationship. And it doesn't even mean that those paths won't merge again at another time and place. And please understand, when I talk about walking your path, I am not limited. Please don't be limited. I am not limiting it to this iteration of life, but walking your path to its fulfillment across every iteration of life, across the multiverse. And so you may encounter a particular person, place, or thing several times throughout the varieties and severities of life that you experience, the iterations of life that you experience across the multiverse in this three-dimensional world, as well as other dimensions outside of this one. You may encounter them again and again, because life is not a straight line. It doesn't move in a straight line, but it's spiral. Turning, curving, weaving, bringing us to our expected end. So it doesn't make it bad. You haven't had any bad experiences unless, of course, you interpreted them as bad. But if you will be transformed by the renewing of your mind, you're able then now to look at those experiences and transmute that energy and see how it came to grow, develop, and serve you. And it began right when it needed to and ended right when it needed to. Everything is as it should be. Are you understanding? We have a tendency to romanticize situations or traumatize them. We go from one extreme to the other on either side of the pendulum. It was either, oh, the most wonderful, beautiful, outstanding thing in the world. Oh, God, I'll never want to leave it. I wish I could go back there again. Oh, I wish I could go back to the good old days. The further you get away from them, the more they become such wonderful, good days. Or we go to the other extreme and we over-traumatize them, and it was just the most horrific, horrible, and terrible thing that I've ever experienced in my entire life, when in fact it is neither. Both of them were equally important, both light and darkness, to bring you to an expected end, to bring you to a level of growth, evolution, and maturity. And when its work was finished, the experience came to an end. The relationship came to an end. The location came to an end. And then you moved on to the next experience. Are you understanding me? What we struggle with in many cases is discerning, consciously discerning. Not just discerning, but consciously discerning when it's time to let go and move forward. Think about this. Imagine going to Home Depot and ordering a burger and fries, coffee, and a blueberry muffin. And the cashier and salespeople working at the Home Depot is like, we don't sell burgers and fries and coffee and blueberry muffins. We sell tools. And so you go out and get in your car, but the next morning you're right back there again. And you go back in and you say, I want a burger and fries, coffee, and a blueberry muffin. And you get the same result. They're like, we told you, that's not what we serve. That's not what we produce here. We're a hardware store. We sell tools, appliances, wood, things for contractors and construction, not food. And okay. All right, and you leave, and then you come back the next morning and say, I want a burger and fries, coffee, and a blueberry muffin. And they give you the same answer again. Look, that's not what we do here. And you leave out of the Home Depot headed toward your car, angry and frustrated because you want your blueberry muffin. You want your coffee. You had a taste for this hamburger and fries. You got your mouth all set for it, and you go in there and they keep telling you can't get what it is that you're wanting. But you are going to a place that's not designed to give you what you want. And you keep going back to the wrong location trying to get what you desire. How many times have you kept going back to the wrong place and the wrong people to get what you desire? And they keep telling you, showing you, demonstrating to you that I am not what you need. I'm not what you desire. I can't give you what you're looking for. I can't provide you what you desire. But you keep going back, like you keep going back to Home Depot trying to get a hamburger. You keep going back to the same thing, trying to get the love, the acceptance, the understanding, the affection, the care, the affirmation. Y'all not hearing what I'm saying from a place that's not designed to give you that. You keep going back to the same church to get a closer walk with God, a better understanding, an enlightenment, a growth, a development, and they keep demonstrating to you that that's not what we're designed for. Now, does that make Home Depot a bad place? No. It's a good place for the people who want to go and get materials for carpentry, who want to go and get hardware. But if hardware is not what you're seeking, then that's not the place you need to go. You have to go to the place that's designed to give you what it is that you desire. And so you go back in the Home Depot one last time, asking for that same hamburger and fries. And they finally say, well, why do you keep coming in here asking us for hamburgers, fries, coffee, and a blueberry muffin? And you tell them that, well, there used to be a restaurant here. I used to come here every morning and have breakfast. And so you are tied to an experience that you had in a spot that used to be there, but it no longer exists. And you keep going back to the Home Depot, keep going back to the spot, keep going back to the relationship, keep going back to the place, keep going back to the thing that at one time served you, at one time satisfied you, satiated you, but that place no longer exists. When do you finally recognize that's no longer serving me? And it doesn't make what's there now bad. It simply means it's not for me. And so if you're not able to detach from the sentimental, emotional memories and ties of that particular thing, a person, a place, then you keep going back there thinking, well, eventually it's going to turn back to a restaurant. Eventually I'll be able to get my hamburger. Eventually they're going to have my blueberry muffins. Eventually, because it was there before. So maybe it's a possibility that it'll come back again. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? But the spiritual law of detachment is about detangling, detaching yourself from past as well as present experiences, people, places, and things, to wear them like a loose garment, knowing that at any moment things may shift. And that's okay. That the divine God that is within you is omniactive, so things are constantly curating, creating, shifting, changing, evolving. And that's okay. That's what you want. I'm not trying to get comfortable. I'm not trying to get at ease. It's time to move forward. And you can't progressively move forward, perpetually continue your journey if you are tied and tethered to all of these things that were never meant to be permanent fixtures in your life. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Let me run to the comments. I got caught up for a second. Yes, you got to know when the brook has dried up. Yes, yes, yes. Trying to give life to dead situations and circumstances. Yes. So the law of divine detachment says that I am saying yes to the infinite possibilities set before me by the universe, by God, by the spirit that is at work around me, in me, through me, as me, to bring me to an expected end. That I am taking my hands off the reins. I have no need or desire to control, to harness, to obstruct, to manipulate. But since I understand that everything is for me, that the entire universe exists to conspire together for my success, then I let go of the reins and I say yes. Yes. Yes to the beauty, the majesty, the extraordinary. Yes to the magnificent, the brilliant, the buoyant. Yes. Yes to the exceedingly abundantly above all that I ever consciously thought or even began to imagine. Yes. Yes. That I'm able to release and relinquish and walk away, move forward. And not every relationship, whatever type it may be, whether it's a friendship, a soul tie, not soul tie, but a soul mate, rather, a soul mate, a friendship, a twin flame, um, familial tie, whether it's mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, uncle, auntie, whether it's romantic or platonic. There are some relationships you cut, and then there are others that you simply untie. I need you to catch what I just said. There are some relationships you cut, you sever, but then there are others that you simply untie. You untie them because your paths may come together and converge again in this spiraled experience that we call life, across the iterations that we experience. So I untie so that if it becomes necessary, helpful to reconnect, I can tie again. There are some relationships you cut, there are others that you simply untie. Boy, this was good tonight. This was good, I think. Right. Every bridge does not need to be burned. Oh, I went to the wrong one. Every bridge doesn't need to be burned. John says, great discussion. Oh, no, y'all keep hitting me before I can get to it. Great discussion reinforced most of what I already believe. Wonderful. Wow, this just answered one of my prayers. Just got clarity right now. Right. John said, I believe a key point should be acceptance, then pressing forward to the next life event or situation. Right. And I know in some of those cases it can be challenging, it can be difficult, it can even be painful. I'm not by any means ignoring that or denying that. But what I am saying to you is that it's necessary for your growth, whether it's a person, place, or thing. The entire Bible, if you want to use the Bible as well as the Quran, as well as the Bhagavad Gita, is littered with stories, narratives, and allegories of people who stayed too long in a place, in a thing, or in a relationship, who were hindered in their development and their growth and suffered loss because they stayed too long. They couldn't discern the times and the seasons. So the law of detachment is a necessary part of the nature of our being. Those emotions are the personification and product and manifestation of the soul's feeling, not the spirit. When you align yourself, attune yourself with your own spirit, you're able to transcend your emotional state and walk in the clarity of consciousness, the knowing that everything is exactly as it should be. Really good conversation tonight. Really, really good conversation. All of your input was so good, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I want to again remind you to order your copy of the book if you haven't already. I've got 2 new books that are out right now. Words to Live By, Volume 2. Many of you already have Volume 1. Volume 2 is now available. And Inner Sense, Developing Your Inner Spiritual Senses. They're both available right now. Go to the website, place your order, and get your copy today. I want to encourage you to do so. I also want to remind you that I am now offering life coaching through the Emergent Life Coaching and Mentorship Program to empower you to be your best self. If you want more information about that, again, it's written in the description above, and the link is down there as well. Just simply click the link and you'll go over and get all the information and details about it, where you can enroll in either the 6-month or the 1-year plan at a gold, silver, or platinum level. So please go and check that out if you will. Want to give you the opportunity to be able to give tonight. If you'd like to give an offering, sow a seed, if you'd like to invest in the Emerge movement, you can do so by using any of the means that you see on your screen right now. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your financial support for the work that we are doing to grow and expand this movement and this platform. You help to make it all possible, but it is also a privilege and an honor for you to be able to give, to make the exchange. That's a spiritual principle and practice of exchange. Make the exchange after having received an impartation of the spiritual, then you exchange by showing your appreciation and value of it through your giving. So take a moment and do that right now. Grab your phone and use your Cashapp, Zelle, or PayPal, and you're able to do your giving in that manner. So I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you again really, really soon. God bless you. Have a wonderful, outstanding, productive tomorrow and a great, restful, and peaceful night. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in. And be sure to catch us every Sunday at 7 p.m. for empowerment.
That we are a unique expression.
Every Thursday at 7 p.m. for momentum.
The creation of God and the God who created him.
Once again, be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. And we'll see you next time.